Here's a fun fact. The Guinness Book of World Records, the organization that lets pretty much anyone attempt to break whatever record they want, has banned any attempts at breaking the world record for longest time awake. Yep, the same organization that lets people jump from outer space said intentionally depriving oneself of sleep is too dangerous. And today, I'm going to share with you some data that is eye-opening, slightly frightening, and somewhat relieving all at the same time regarding our #1 performance enhancer and public health goal enemy, #1. No, not the Pillsbury Doughboy, but he is kind of sketchy. We're talking yo. What is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity, and we do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic manner. Today, we are talking about that thing that we oh so often overlook and is kind of mandatory for life, and specifically how a chronic lack thereof can cause a big old fat problem on the inside, which can be rather unnoticeable as you perform your daily flex in the bathroom mirror, or for that matter, any mirror. Talking to you, Chad. Jokes aside, in today's video, we're going to be reviewing some new research highlighting how short-term sleep deprivation can not only increase one's energy consumption, but upregulate the accumulation of a certain type of fat that has been scientifically termed the bad type. You guessed it, the inflammation-inducing, organ-impairing, notorious visceral fat, which traditionally accumulates in and around the abdomen. Yeah, I know. Definitely not cool for biological school. So first we'll touch on our modern day sleep problems, move on over to our modern day visceral fat problems, review and analyze this new research linking the two together, and finally, the relieving news. As promised, some resources to help you sleep better. Oh yeah, I'll also tell you where the Pillsbury Doughboy fits in all this. Nah, I'm just joshing ya. Or am I? First, our sleep problem. Here's the thing. We humans are the most cognitively capable organisms on this planet that we know of. Always got to put that disclaimer. Tinfoil hat off. I really should have got a tinfoil hat for this, but too late now. But let me tell you just how intelligent we are. We're so smart that we are the only species on this planet that has decided intentionally that we can overlook the deep, innate biological pressures of sleep. In layman's terms, we think we can outsmart the biological needs for sleep. And let me add some additional perspective. Pretty much every single other organism on this planet is governed and abides by some type of circadian rhythm that puts them in a sleep or sleep-like state on a regular basis. Translation, every other organism plays ball and doesn't fight the urge, except the most intelligent, cognitively capable one, us. And guess what? Because of this decision, around 62% of the adults on this planet say they don't sleep as well as they want to. And around 35% of US adults straight up do not get enough sleep on a consistent basis. And there seems to be an ever-accumulating number of reasons why, from work, schedule and culture, to self-driven disruption of circadian rhythms via social or digital jet lag, or the non-stop 24/7 connectivity to the digital world. And we can't forget about the record levels of metabolic disease, which are often associated with mild to severe insomnia. And we also can't forget to blame society, which built the ultra-common norm that we are, or need to be, tougher than sleep. I'll just tell you right now, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Not a good strategy. All this leads to stats like how 33% of US adults get 6 hours of sleep or less, or how half of Americans admit to feeling sleepy during the day 3 days or more per week. And guess what? This sleeplessness is having a toll on our health, as it's been linked to a number of rising health issues, including metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, cognitive decline, hormone disruption, elevated cravings, impaired physical performance, cancer progression, and what I hinted as public health goal enemy number one in the intro, fat accumulation. Specifically, the wrong type of fat accumulation. And unfortunately, this list of health woes can go on and on. But fortunately, we have a fully loaded How to Sleep playlist, which dives into the details, tips, and strategies that can help get you out of your own way and get you out of your sleep-deprived rut, especially for those who have fat loss goals and overall health goals, which we all have, because this type of fat accumulation is a growing problem. The problem with visceral fat. As we discussed in this video here, not all fat is created equal. Yep, that's right. Life's not fair, even if you're a fat cell. Visceral adiposity is the condition where normal lean organs such as the liver, pancreas, intestines, and even heart accumulate fat. And unlike its subcutaneous counterparts, which is stored on the outskirts, gotta get a little pinch there, the outskirts of the body, this fat is not a law-abiding metabolic citizen. It is metabolically damaging, highly inflammatory, and organ impairing, creating the internal state that leads to the acceleration of dysfunction and ultimately disease. NAFLD, or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, is a prime example. This is a condition where the liver becomes metabolically sick. Hepatocytes or liver cells get damaged, many times from lifestyle habits. They can't keep up with the constant energy load and default to storing fat locally on the liver, impairing more liver cells. The results being damage and scarring. Now picture this effect with other key organs such as the pancreas, intestines, and heart. Nonetheless, all at the same time. Yikes is right. This right here has established visceral fat accumulation as a marker for morbidity and mortality. And the problem is, it's becoming more and more prevalent, many times being a byproduct of a few confounding factors, such as excess energy intake, specifically the wrong type of energy, i.e. ultra-processed foods, environmental stressors and toxins, sedentary lifestyle, dehydration, hormone disruption, and deprivation in another critical category. Can you think of one in particular? Maybe it's time to dive into this new research. The study. Researchers from the Mayo Clinic sought out to investigate how short-term modest sleep restriction impacts energy balance and risk for obesity. And to do this, they used a tightly controlled, elegantly curated, randomized controlled design, which included 12 young, healthy, non-obese participants between the ages of 19 and 39 and spanned 2 separate 21-day inpatient visits. And I know, 2 weeks of randomized controlled human crossover studies in a row. We're getting spoiled over here. Now, it's super important to point out that this was inpatient. So although sample size was small, it was tightly controlled, which is a big plus. So during this inpatient visit and after a short acclimation period, participants spent 14 days with either a 4-hour sleep opportunity or a 9-hour sleep opportunity. And after the first 21-day stint, there was a 3-month washout period where participants re-baselined themselves, and then they went and they performed the other or opposite arm of the study. For example, the sleep-deprived group in phase 1 transitioned to the full night sleep group for phase 2, and the full night sleep group for phase 1 transitioned to the sleep-deprived group for phase 2. And during both phases, researchers measured energy intake, energy expenditure, body weight, body composition, fat distribution, and several other biomarkers. And let's just take a minute, for my own sake, to appreciate a sleep study without questionnaires and surveys. Thank you, Mayo Clinic, if you're watching. I know you're watching. You want the answer to the Pillsbury Doughboy question. Just wait, I got you. All right. So what happened? First off, a lack of sleep led to more overall energy consumption, approximately 300 extra calories per day. I mean, what else are they supposed to do for that 5 hours? Researchers noted that the excess intake came from about 13% more protein and 17% more fat compared to baseline, an increase that tapered off to pre-sleep deprived levels during the recovery period, essentially when participants were allowed to sleep again. That's good news. Another interesting finding here was that energy expenditure stayed consistent throughout the study. So this means that there was a slight increase in weight gain for that sleep-deprived group. Now, we move to the eye-opening findings. CAT scans showed that lack of sufficient sleep for simply 2 weeks led to a 9% increase in total abdominal fat and a 11% increase in visceral fat compared to baseline. 9 and 11% in 2 weeks without gaining noticeable excess weight. They also found that the 3-day recovery period at the end of the sleep deprivation wasn't enough to change visceral fat composition. So although changes were not very visibly seen in these participants, things were definitely happening under that dermis cover. All this had researchers concluding that shortened sleep, even in young, healthy, relatively lean individuals, is associated with an increase in calorie intake, a very small increase in weight, and a potentially significant increase in fat in and around the belly, noting that inadequate sleep appears to redirect fat to the more dangerous visceral compartments. And although during sleep recovery there was a decrease in caloric intake and weight, visceral fat stayed unchanged or increased. All in all, suggesting that inadequate sleep is a previously unrecognized trigger for visceral fat deposition, and that make-up sleep, at least in the short term, does not reverse visceral fat accumulation. I did, though, tell you that there was some relieving news too, right? I think it's time for that. Strategies and resources. Just as deprived, crappy, sporadic sleep can drive disease, the research points out that high-quality, consistent sleep may be able to do the opposite. But coming from someone who used to think that they were tougher than sleep, I will be the first one to tell you, getting good sleep takes work. It doesn't just happen. It takes strategy, execution, and most importantly, consistency. But the payoff of suddenly being in a mentally clearer, physically energized, emotionally balanced state more days than not is something that no pharmaceutical could ever come close to delivering. And good sleep will literally enhance every other aspect of your life. So I think this one is simple. It's an investment worth making. And I have the perfect video to get you started. This video is a full guide on how to improve your Z's, craft your sleep hygiene schedule, and get your body metabolically buzzing as it should over the course of weeks to months. Some of these strategies are quick fixes and others take a little time. So keep in mind that we are playing the long game here. And I will also point you to the aforementioned How to Sleep playlist, where we cover topics such as circadian rhythms and alignment, sleep and wake times, sunlight and darkness cues, artificial light at night, caffeine strategies, exercise timing, meal timing, key sleep metrics to track, and nightly sleep hygiene routines. Just as we know that poor, sporadic, inconsistent, low-quality sleep can discreetly accelerate all of the nefarious things happening at the cellular and metabolic level, good, high-quality, consistent sleep happens to be the best medicine that we have. It is straight up healing in so many ways. And, as the science points out, it is not only key for disease prevention, but also necessary for optimal performance. So put your pretty cool meat suit and 5-pound mushy membrane in a position to operate efficiently. And as always, if you are not where you want to be, or just need a little extra help and support, you can join the weekly longevity challenges in Patreon, where we as a group tackle sustainable longevity focused change week by week, habit by habit, getting healthy from the inside out. All the links for that will be in the show notes below. So, hopefully, we're not going to have any more attempts at breaking any sleep world records now, are we? Promise? Don't make me send the Pillsbury Doughboy to your dreams. That evil laugh.